Okay, guys, 31 days in a row learning Japanese. Like, we are not going to stop, but also one important thing that I need to know to do is to make a video. Like, I passed a milestone of 30 days, which is the first time in my life I do something, I start something, and I stick to it for 30 days in a row. I'm going to have to make a video on YouTube on and updating on what I have achieved so far, what I have learned. Like I'm almost completing the basic grammar on Tae Kim. I did Genki. I learned I learned like hiragana and katakana, the kana. I learned it in 2 3 days, and I learned like a lot of kanji, like at least 100 kanji, maybe 200. I don't know. I'm going to test it maybe tomorrow. This weekend, tomorrow is Saturday. I think tomorrow is Saturday. Friday, tomorrow is Saturday. I think tomorrow I'm going to start to make videos, like a few videos tomorrow and after tomorrow. Yeah, I must have to make videos. Also, I'm going to change the learning process, daily learning process, because I used to do exercises here, and it would take me a lot of time and not finish the other things that I wanted to do. So I'm going to start every day reading, only reading, like theory. Read a little bit of Tai Kim, read a little bit of Genki, and watch a couple of videos, maybe from a video here, a video there. I have other videos in mind. And yeah, so only theory. And after, at night, before I sleep, I'm going to do exercises from this workbook. So I'm not going to do this on live stream because it takes me a lot of time, and also with the interruptions from the cats, it's a little bit difficult to continue from Nekos. So yeah, Taikim, Genki, and videos. Basically, the main videos from here and some others as well. So let's start. Taikim. We start with Taikim. Today, though, today I think it's going to be a short one. Maybe in an hour I'm going to close. Maybe 2 hours. We'll see. But hour, I think hour will be enough. I'm going to read only from Tai Kim. And tomorrow we start normal, like intense learning from tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to make a video on YouTube. Hopefully, I don't have anything else. Tomorrow is Saturday. I want to make a lot of videos, actually, because the main purpose of this journey is to make videos about teaching what I learned, which which is going to help me enrich my learning. Look, teach what I learned. I wrote even here. So I'm gonna make about what I learned from Japanese lessons. So yeah, I think teach to learn. This is the main topic of what I want to do. I'm going to make videos about kanji characters, how I learned the kanjis. I want to make videos on kana, yeah, first videos on how to learn kana quickly, about particles, explaining in my own way, like teaching in my own way. Even if I'm not actually very good in Japanese, I'm just teaching what I learned in order to learn better, to help me remember better. But anyways, that's for tomorrow. Now I'm going to start reading here. Let's put some music. Um, are the music? Let's listen to this today. Okay, we start learning. Okay. This is not for today. Today I'm going to only do Tae Kim. So we close it for now. Tomorrow we start intense learning. So no noun related particles. The last three particles not. We have already gone over very powerful constructs that can express almost anything we want. We will see the no particle. We'll see the no particle will give us even more power by allowing us to define a generic abstract noun. We will also learn how to modify nouns directly with nouns. The three particles we will cover can group nouns together in different ways. This is the last lesson that will be specifically focused on particles, but that does not mean that there are no more particles to learn. We will learn many more particles along the way, but they may not be labeled as such, as long as you know what they mean and how to use them. It is not too important to know whether they are particles or not. The inclusive to particle vocabulary. Okay, so to particle. To particles actually means and this, or it could mean with someone. Like if you say someone's name Takeshi To, I'm going with Takeshi's. With, so and with. Naifu. Foku. Suteki. Oh wait, there's another word. Suteki. What does suteki mean? Other steki. Forgot. Taberu, to eat. Hon, book. Zashi, magazine. Hagaki, postcard. Kao, buy. Tomodachi, friend. Hanasu, talk, speak. Sensei, oh, to meet. Oh, ow, to meet, ow. So the particle to, the to particle, is similar to mo particle in that it contains a meaning of inclusion. It can combine two or more nouns together to mean end. Means end. It's not like mo. What are you talking about? Naifu to foku de suteki o taberu. So what does te mean there? Shouldn't it be to also? Like with? I feel like ナイフとフォークとステーキを食べた。Ate steak by means. They means by means. By means of knife and fork. ナイフとフォークでステーキを食べた。本と雑誌とはがきを買った。Another similar use of the to particle is to show an action that was done together with someone or something else. 友達と話した。Talk with a friend. 先生と会うた。Okay, I know it. So to particle is very easy. Very easy. When you put it with someone, it means it's with. When you put it with also someone and things, between, when you put it between two things or two people, you put to. Easy. Easy, very easy. The vague listing ya and toka particles. Toka. So nomi mono. Mono means thing. Nomi means beverage. Nomi mono. Kapu. Napkin. Iru, to need. Kutsu, shoes. Kutsu. Shatsu, t-shirt. Cow, to buy. The ya particle, just like the to particle, is used to list one or more nouns, except that it is much more vague than to particle. So it implies that there may be other things that are unlisted and that not all items in the list may apply. In English, you might think of this as an and or etc. Hello. Tino vinto. Hanasu. Hanashi, too much talking. What can we do? Too much. Too much talking. Blah blah blah. But this is life. Life is all about talking and words. So, nomimono ya kapu. Nomimono ya kapu ya napkin wa iranai. You need things like drink, cup, or napkin. So yeah, it's like when coding you say, like there in coding there is if, or you can say in case of, and you list things. You list a lot of things. You don't say to, end. You say ya. Buy things like shoes and shirts and etc. Kutsu, kutsuya, shatsu, or cow. Okay, I understand what ya means. Kutsuya, shatsu, or cow. Doka also has the same meaning as ya, but but is a slightly more colloquial expression. Nomimono toka, kapu toka, napukin wa iranai. Wait, also has the same meaning as ya, but it's slightly more colloquial expression. So it's the same. Nomi no ya, nomi no toka, napukin no toka, napukin no toka. Wait. Kapu. Nomi no toka, kapu toka, napukin wa iranai. So it's the same. Toka and ya. You just list things, but it's more colloquial expression. Okay, Tinoito, love you. The no particle. All love. The no particle. Hon. America. 大学。学生。大学 means college. 学生。それ。その。abbreviation. シャツ。誰。これ。この。あれ。あの。白い。right? かわいい。15。How many words for class? Kurasu, jugo. Kurasai, not kurasai. Shuka, something. Iku, to go. Wasureru. Wasureru, to forget. Wasureru. Koto, event, matter. Mainichi, every day. To, benkyou. Suru, to do. Taihen, tough, hard, taihen. Anaji, same. Mono, object, mono. I know this one. Taberu. Omoshiroi. Omoshiroi, interesting. Omoshiroi. Shizuka, quiet. Shizuka. Heya, room. Hito, person. Gakko, school. The no particle has many uses and it is a very powerful particle. It is introduced here because like to and ya particle, it can be used to connect one or more nouns. Let's look at the few examples. Bobu no hon. Book of Hon, Bob. Book of Bob. Bobu no Hon. Hon no Bobu. Book of Bob. The first essentially means Bob's book. Not a lost Bible chapter. The second sentence means Books Bob, which is probably a mistake. I've translated the first. Example as Book of Bob. Because the no particle doesn't always imply possession, as the next example shows. Bobu wa America no daigaku no gakusei da. Bob is a student of College of America. America no daigaku no gakusei da. So in normal English, this would translate to Bob is a student of an American college. So Americano Daigaku, College of America. Daigaku, Bob is a student of an American college. The order of modification is backwards, so Bob is a student of a college that is American. Gakusei no Daigaku no America means America of College of Student, which is probably an error and makes little sense. America of Students College doesn't make any sense. The noun that is being modified can be omitted if the context clearly indicates what is being omitted. The following highlighted redundant words can be omitted. Sono sha. Sono shatsu wa. Sono shatsu wa. Dare no shatsu. So sore shatsu wa. This t-shirt. Sono shatsu wa dare no shatsu? This t-shirt, whose t-shirt is it? Dare no shatsu. Whose t-shirt is that t-shirt? That t-shirt. Okay. Bobu no shatsu da. It is shirts of Bob. It is Bob's shirt. To become sono shatsu wa dare no indicate what's being omitted. The following highlight redundant words. Okay, so we know we don't need to add shatsu again. So sono shatsu wa dare no. Whose is it? Whose is it? Whose shirt is that? That shirt. Whose is it? Whose shirt in that in English? Bobu no da. It is Bob. Bob. Sono, that, is an abbreviation of sore plus no. So it directly modifies the noun because the no particle is intrinsically attached. Other words include kono from koreno and ano from areno. The no particle in the usage essentially replaces the noun and takes over the role as a noun itself. We can essentially treat adjectives and verbs just like nouns by adding no particle to it. Particle then becomes a generic noun, which we can treat just like a regular noun. So the no particle precedes the noun and takes over the role as a noun itself. We essentially treat adjectives and verbs just like nouns by adding no particles to it. So 白いのはかわいい。So particle usage is essentially the noun takes over the role as a noun itself. But essentially treat adjectives and verbs just like nouns by adding no particle to it. Particle then becomes a generic noun which we can treat just like a regular noun. So the no makes the verb or adjective a noun. So 白いの white things, just normal noun. 白いのはかわいい。White things are cute. じゃ行15に行くの15に行くのを忘れた Forgot the event of going to class. So クラス15に行くの So 15に行くの So class go became a noun by adding only no. So the event of going to class. So I forgot that I should be going to class. I forgot the event of going to class. So two words became no noun only by adding a no. Now we can use the direct object, topic, and identifier particle with verbs and adjectives. We don't necessarily have to use no particle here. We can use the noun mono object. Mono, which is a generic object, or koto for a generic event. For example, we can also say 白いものはOkay. Okay, so we don't need to use no, we can use mono. So 白いものは white things are kawaii, are cute. And toko, which is generic object, or koto for a generic event. For example, 授業に行くことを忘れた。15に行くことを忘れた。Forgot the thing of going to class. Okay. So koto for event, mono for objects and nouns. However, no particle is very useful in that you don't have to specify a particular noun. In the context examples, the no particle is not replacing any particular noun. It just allows us to modify verb and adjective clauses like noun clauses. The relative clauses are highlighted. 毎日勉強するのは大学。 大変。毎日勉強するのは大変。大変。大変. So studying every day is tough. The thing of studying every day, no. The process of studying every day is tough. So 毎日勉強するのは大変。毎日同じもの食べるのは面白い。No, interesting. 面白くない。面白くない。面白くない。So 毎日同じものを食べるのは It's not interesting to eat the same every day. Okay, even when substituting no for a noun, you still need the na to modify the noun when an adjective is being used. 静かな even when substituting no for a noun, you still need the na to modify the noun when an adjective is being used. 静かな部屋がアリスの部屋だ。Quiet room is room of Alice becomes 静かなのがアリス部屋だ。So we don't need to say room again. Here, just add the no. アリスの部屋だ。Quiet room is room of Alice. Quiet one is room of Alice. Warning, this may make things seem like you can replace any arbitrary nouns with no. But this is not so. It is though. Okay. This may make things like you can replace any arbitrary nouns with no. But this is not so. It is important to realize that the sentence must be about the clause and not the noun that was replaced. For example, if the last section we had the sentence 学生じゃない人は学校に行かない。So a student, he's not a student. 学校行く he don't go to school. You may think that you can just replace 人 with no to produce 学生じゃないのは No, that's not true. 学校に行かない But in fact, this makes no sense because the sentence is now about the clause is not student. The sentence becomes the thing of not being student does not go to school, which is complete gibberish because gibberish because not being a student is a state and it doesn't make sense for a state to go anywhere much less school. The no particle.
こんにちは、キム・テイです。皆さんは元気ですか？私は元気ですよ。こんにちは、キム・テイ。
Okay. The no particle as explanation. Okay, let's explain.
In this lesson, we're going to learn how to give
The no
ask for
particle.
explanations and set expectations. We're going to be covering some very important concepts that are used extensively. So let's get right into it. In English, we can change nuance and set some implied expectations by changing the order of a sentence. For example, let's take a look at two identical questions. Are you a student? And you're a student? Even if I read these two sentences in a neutral voice, they have a very different tone just by how the question is ordered. The first sentence is a neutral yes or no question with no expectation or implied meanings. However, the second sentence makes the speaker sound like he's surprised or perhaps expecting the person to not be a student. In addition to tone, English has all sorts of ways to add a hidden meaning or expectation with sentence ordering. Whether it's, aren't you a student? Are you not a student? You're not a student, are you? You're a student, are you not? Etc., etc. Now, how would we say these two sentences in Japanese? If you haven't watched any of my previous videos and just did a simple literal translation, you might end up with the following. Are you a student? あなたは学生ですか? You're a student? あなたは学生ですか? Obviously, just translating the individual words to Japanese won't work as you'll lose all the nuances and implied meanings in the second sentence. Let's think a bit about what could be implied by a question such as, you're a student? Of course, tone has a lot to do with it, but it's easy to imagine that the person asking the question is maybe surprised or expected the person to not be a student. Finally, from the tone of unexpected surprise and puzzlement, there's also a strong hint of seeking additional explanation. You could almost imagine the next question being why, or how can this be? In Japanese, we have a special particle used exactly for this purpose. This explanatory no, as I call it, is used to implicitly seek or provide explanations. Let's first take a quick look at the rules to use this particle. For nouns
We're
and
using no.
adjectives, we first want to append na, and then add no to the end of the word. For adjectives and verbs, we simply append the no to the end, just like any other particle. For now, we're just going to concentrate on nouns and adjectives and ignore verbs until we learn about them later. Here's some simple examples. How would we use the explanatory no with these four examples? For number one, since gakse is a noun, it becomes gakse nano with a na first. For number two, is an adjective, so it simply becomes ino with no na. For number three, ski is a na adjective, so same as nouns, it becomes skinano. Finally, as we learned before, kirei is one of those na adjectives that happen to end in e. So again, this becomes kirei nano. So now that we know the rules for using the explanatory no, let's finally answer the first question of how to say you're a student in Japanese. Before we use the explanatory no for the second question, let's first fix that awful textbook translation for the first question. Since you watch my videos, you know that we rarely ever say you, much less anata, which is not very polite. Let's also ignore the polite form for now for simplicity.
So, gakse desu ka? Oh.
Okay, now that we have simplified the neutral question, are you a student, to just gakse, we now just add the explanatory no using the rule we just learned. Once again, because gakse is a noun, we have to first attach na and then no. So now we have two very different sentences in both English and Japanese. The first sentence is a neutral yes or no question asking whether you're a student. Gakse? The second is implicitly asking for an explanation and hinting at either the speaker's surprise or expectations. In other words, you're a student? Why are you a student? I didn't expect you to be a student, etc., etc. 学生なの?学生なの? The same principle applies for statements as well as questions. Though it doesn't translate as well into English, the basic concept remains the same. The first sentence is simply that somebody is a student. For example, I'm a student. However, the second sentence, 学生なの, is implicitly explaining that yes, in fact, I am a student. I translated this rather awkwardly to, it is that I'm a student. This implicit explanation is simple but incredibly powerful. Here's a typical example for the explanatory no. Let's say you're holding up an umbrella on a bright and sunny day. This certainly looks like a situation that warrants an explanation. People might be looking at you funny and you want to say, I know what you're thinking. You want to know why I'm using an umbrella on a sunny, clear day, right? Well, the thing is, actually, this is a parasol. If you're not familiar with a parasol, it's an umbrella used to shade oneself from the sun, called higasa in Japanese, using the kanji hi for sun and the word kasa for umbrella. Using the explanatory no, you can implicitly provide an explanation very simply by saying, これは日傘なの?これは日傘なの? In learning the no explanatory particle, it's important to note that different particles may look the same, even though they are in fact completely different. A few lessons back, we learned how to describe noun properties and possessions using another particle that's also no. In that lesson, we learned that gakusei no means students or of student. For example, gakusei no kasa would mean the student's umbrella. However, the explanatory particle we just learned is completely different. It serves a different function, has a different meaning, and also has different grammatical rules. The second sentence, gakusei nano, is using the explanatory no, which requires na for nouns. So, gakusei nano is explained that someone is a student, not that the student owns something. Hopefully by now you have a rough idea of what the explanatory no is. So let's take a look at how to use it in polite speech and also for the declarative da.
Sure.
For nouns and...
So it's not the no that we used as a possessive. It's different. Maybe Shizuka. Like all this time I had in my mind that it's like a possessive no, but this guy says it's different. Shiroi no. Shiroi no wa. Maybe I understand, but I need to see it even more.
Adjectives, just as before, we simply need to add des
polite
for
form
the polite form and da for
da
the declarative at the end of the sentence. For example, gakusei nano becomes gakusei nano desu in polite form and gakusei nano da for the declarative. However, while no des and no da is perfectly correct, in modern Japanese it is fairly archaic and rarely used in regular daily conversations. Unless you want to sound like an anime character with a strange way of speaking, you want to replace no with . So for our example, if you replace the no with and append des or da to the end of the sentence, we end up with gakusei nan desu and gakusei nan da. Here are the same examples from before except now for the polite form. Gakusei nan desu, iin desu, suki nan desu, kirei nan desu. And here are the same examples for the declarative da. Gakusei nan da, iin da, suki nan da, kirei nan da. Finally, here's a simple example dialogue using the explanatory no. あの人は学生なの?先生だよ。先生なの?新卒なんだ。A first asks, あの人は学生なの? That person is a student. To drive the point home once again, This is different in tone from the simple neutral question, is that person a student? B replies, sensei da yo. No, she's a teacher, you know. A is surprised and responds, sensei nano? What? She's a teacher? Once again, note that this is different from just saying, is she a teacher? Finally, B provides an implicit explanation for the surprise by saying, shinsotsu nanda, with the declarative da to sound more masculine. We can awkwardly translate this as, it is that she is a new graduate. Here's the same dialogue again, but in polite form. あの人は学生なんですか? よ。先生なんですか? 新卒なんです。
Okay,
In this
again.
dialogue using the 学生なんだ、いいんだ、好きなんだ、綺麗なんだ. Finally, here's a simple example dialogue using the explanatory note. あの人は学生なの? 先生だよ。先生なの? 新卒なんだ。A first asks, あの人は学生なの? That person is a student? To drive the point home once again, this is different in tone from the simple neutral question, is that person a student? B replies, 先生だよ. No, she's a teacher, you know. A is surprised and responds, 先生なの? What? She's a teacher? Once again, note that this is different from just saying, is she a teacher? Finally, B provides an implicit explanation for the surprise by saying, shinsotsu nanda, with the declarative da to sound more masculine. We can awkwardly translate this as, it is that she is a new graduate. Here's the same dialogue again, but in polite form. あの人は学生なんですか? いいえ、先生ですよ。先生なんですか? 新卒なんです。In this lesson, we learn how to implicitly ask for and provide explanations using the
I'm not sure I understood very well.
手です。皆さんは元気ですか?
I think we're going to learn it slowly.
こんにちは、キム・テイです。皆さんは元気ですか? 私は元気ですよ. In the last lesson, we learned how to add an implicit explanation with the explanatory no particle.
So
We'll now take a look at ways
it's explaining, it's just describing a situation. No. It's not possessive like we learned in the past. It's a different kind of no.
Conjugate with the particle to imply many different types of explanations and expectations.
Verbs.
Previously in our main example, we took a look at two sentences that meant the same thing but had different implied expectations. Are you a student? And you're a student? We learned that while English sets different expectations by changing the sentence word order, we can do something similar in Japanese with the explanatory no particle. In other words, gakusei is a neutral yes or no question, while gakusei nano is more similar to you're a student, expressing surprise or an expectation that you're not a student. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how we can apply the same ideas with the past tense and negative form. For example, using the negative and changing the sentence order, in English you can ask, aren't you a student? Implying that the speaker thought you were a student, or you're not a student, to express surprise that you're not a student, and implicitly seeking an explanation as to why you're not a student. Similarly, you can express expectations in the past tense, such as, you were a student, as opposed to the neutral question, were you a student? You can even use multiple combinations of both, such as asking, you weren't a student, were you? There are many combinations of ways we can use various tenses and reword sentences in English to imply an expectation. We will now learn how to do something similar in Japanese using the explanatory no particle and negative and past tense forms of nouns and adjectives. To begin with, we can append the explanatory note to the end of words conjugated to the negative, past tense, and negative past tense. For example, let's take a look at the noun student conjugated to the negative, past tense, and negative past tense. In other words, 学生、学生じゃない、学生だった、学生じゃなかった。Now remember from the last lesson that we have to append na first for plain nouns and na adjectives. But for conjugated forms, we don't need to do anything more than just appending the no particle to the end. So this becomes 学生じゃないの、学生だったの、学生じゃなかったの。Now using the explanatory no in a statement sounds a bit feminine, so for masculine casual speech, you may want to use the declarative da. As we learned in the last lesson, it is more common to abbreviate the no to when using the declarative da and polite des. So this becomes 学生なんだ、学生じゃないんだ、学生だったんだ、学生じゃなかったんだ. Here's the polite form, and as you can see, pretty much exactly the same as the declarative da. 学生なんです、学生じゃないんです、学生だったんです、学生じゃなかったんです. We can't use the declarative da for questions without a question word. So questions with no are gender neutral and are the same for both males and females. The English translations will be pretty much how we would expect. We're seeking an explanation as to why you're not, were, or were not a student.
学生じゃないの。
学生じゃないの? You're not a student? 学生だったの? You're a student? 学生じゃなかったの? You weren't a student? Now this is where things start to get interesting because not only can we use the explanatory no with conjugated words, we can also conjugate the no itself, treating it essentially like a noun. Let's go back to the first example that we started with, 学生なの. Now let's pretend that the last no is just a regular noun and conjugate it using the regular noun conjugation rules. We end up with 学生なの、学生なのじゃない、学生なのだった、学生なのじゃなかった. Just like the polite form and declarative da, in modern Japanese we shorten the no to just So we end up with 学生なんじゃない、学生なんだった、学生なんじゃなかった. Now, just because we can make all these conjugations doesn't mean that all of them are particularly useful for this example. Let's take a look at just a few examples to get the general concept of what the no particle does when we conjugate it instead of the word itself. This time, let's try an e adjective instead of a noun, 忙しい meaning busy. If we simply add the explanatory no as before, we're asking, you're busy? Seeking explanation as to why the person is busy. 忙しいの? Is it that you're busy? As we just learned in this lesson, we can use the no particle with the negative, 忙しくない as well. It's simply the exact opposite of the previous example, seeking explanation as to why the person is not busy. The speaker likely expected the person for some reason to be busy. 忙しくないの? Is it that you're not busy? Now this time, let's try conjugating the explanatory no itself. To conjugate to the negative, we simply append じゃない, just like any other noun, to the no. Now once again, because じゃない is attached to the no particle, we need to change the no to So the end result becomes 忙しいんじゃない? This means something along the lines of, you're busy, are you not? Basically, the sentence is still saying someone is busy, but the negative after the no particle is used to confirm whether the person is in fact busy. So for example, if A-san asked, is Smith-san free? Sumisa-san wa hima? Because B-san is pretty sure for some reason that Smith-san is busy, but not 100% sure, he replies, 忙しいんじゃない? He's busy, is he not? The polite form is exactly the same as using regular nouns, so we simply append des to the end of the sentence. So this example becomes, スミスさんは暇ですか? 忙しいんじゃないですか? Because we're still using the explanatory no particle just conjugated to the negative, we can also conjugate the word itself. basically using everything we learned so far in one word. In this example, 忙しい is conjugated to the negative, 忙しくない, and the explanatory particle is also conjugated to the negative. The result becomes 忙しくないんじゃないですか? He's not busy, is he not? This means that the person expects Smith-san to not be busy, but is not sure and wants to confirm. Finally, let's take a look at this short example dialogue to see the explanatory no conjugations in action. 今日の晩ご飯はお寿司だよ。え、そうなの？今日の晩ご飯はお寿司だよ。Today's dinner is sushi, you know. え、そうなの？ Huh? Is that so? ん？お寿司は好きじゃないの？好きだったんだけど、アメリカのお寿司は美味しくないから。ん？お寿司は好きじゃないの？ Huh? You don't like sushi? 好きだったんだけど、アメリカのお寿司は美味しくないから。I used to like it, but because American sushi is not tasty. 日本と同じなんじゃないの？日本のお寿司はもっと良かったんだよ。日本と同じなんじゃないの？ It's the same as Japan, isn't it? 日本のお寿司はもっと良かったんだよ。Japanese sushi was much better. 今日の晩ご飯はお寿司だよ。え、そうなの？お寿司は好きじゃないの？好きだったんだけど、アメリカのお寿司は美味しくないから、日本と同じなんじゃないの？日本のお寿司はもっと良かったんだよ。In this lesson, we learned how to use the explanatory no with conjugated noun.
Okay, this was probably after 31 days. This was the most difficult lesson, I'm gonna lie. I don't think I understood a lot of things. Some things maybe make sense, some things maybe are understandable, like when he says that it's an explanatory, like when you use it for a question. Are you a student?
Before we use the are you a student?
学生の
The first
学生
sentence
な
is a
の
neutral.
I think I understand this one. 学生なの First was lesson I think was clear. 学生の学生なの
We learned that 学生の means students or of student. For example, 学生の
So 学生の it's
casa would mean
students. Okay, understood. 学生なの is explaining. Is
the student's umbrella. However, the explanatory particle we just learned is completely different. It serves a
I understand this one. But
noun
here
as an
there are
adjective,
some things
treating it essentially like a noun. For
didn't get the main idea. So anyway, we continue. Ima. Now. Ima. This means now. So ima with he, I think he yoku kyo comes today. Today. Today ima with hyo with he becomes kyo today. So yeah, that's the most difficult the most difficult lesson. But I think we'll understand later. Came back. Look who came back. Okay, we don't need you. Go away. Ow, ow. Okay, so isogashi, busy. Isogashi, busy. Gakse, student. Nomu, to drink. Doko, where. Iku, to go. Jogyo, class. Jogyo, class. Un, casual word for na. Aru, to exist. Aru, no. Aru, to exist. Aru for inanimate things and iru for people and animals. Un, sono. Hito, person. Cow, to buy. Sensei, sensei. Akigohan. Asogohan. Asagohan. Asagohan. Asagohan, taberu. Doshito. Doshite. Doshite, why? The no particle attached at the end of the last clause of a sentence can also convey an explanatory tone to your sentence. For example, what? Ow, ow, ow. For example, if someone asked you if you have time, you might be respond, the thing is I'm kind of busy right now. The abstract generic noun that, what do you want from me? Huh? The busy right now. The abstract generic noun of the thing is can also be expressed with the no particle. This type of sentence has an embedded meaning that explains the reasons for something else. Sentence would be expressed like Ima wa isogashii no. The thing is that I'm busy now. Okay. Ima wa isogashii no. This sounds very soft and feminine. What do you want? Go away. Look at this guy. I don't need. So it sounds feminine, okay? It sounds soft and feminine. In fact, adult males will almost always add declarative da unless they want to sound cute for some reason. Ima wa isogashi no da. Things that I'm busy now. With manly voice. Oh no. Ima. The thing, however, since the declarative da cannot be used in a question the same no in question do not carry a feminine tone all at all and is used by both males and females. Ima wa isogashi no. Is that you are busy now? Gender neutral. Ima wa isogashi no. Gender neutral. Okay, to express state of being when the no particle is used to convey this explanatory tone, we need to add na to distinguish it from no particle that simply means off. So jimu no da, jimu no da. It is of gym. It's gyms. Jimu na no da. It is gym with explanatory. Jimu na no da. It is gym. Okay, express state of being when no particle is used to convey this explanatory tone, we need to add na to distinguish it from no. Okay. So when you put it in the end of the sentence, thing is that I'm busy now. But attached at the end of the sentence can also convey an explanatory tone. If it's at the end of the sentence, it's an explanatory tone. Convey an explanatory tone. For example, if someone asked you, if you have time, you might respond, the thing is that I'm kind of busy. Abstract generics noun for the thing is can also be expressed with no particle. This type of sentence has an embedded meaning that explains the okay, it's correct. The reason something else. Okay, so if you put it at the end is explanatory. But if it's not at the end, express state of being part 2 is used to convey explanatory tone. We need to add na if it's in the middle to express state of being, to distinguish it from no, which is possessive. Besides this one case, everything else remains the same as before. In actuality, while this type of explanatory tone is used all the time, no da is usually substituted by da. Road trip. Substituted by da. So in actuality, while this type of explanatory tone is used all the time, it's usually substituted with da. This is probably due to the fact that da is easier to say than no da. It's easier, da. This grammar can have what seems like many different meanings because not only can it be used with all forms of adjectives, nouns and verbs, it itself can also be conjugated just like the state of being. A conjugation chart will show you what this means. There is really nothing new here. The first chart is just adding da or nanda to a conjugated verb, noun or adjective. The second chart adds da or nanda to a non-conjugated verb, noun, adjective, and then conjugates the da part of nda, just like a regular state of being for nouns and adjectives. Just don't forget to attach na for nouns as well. So, 学生なんだ。学生じゃないんだ。じゃないんだ。学生だったんだ。学生だったんだ。学生じゃなかったんだ。飲むんだ。飲みないんだ。飲んだ、飲んだんだ。飲んだんだ。plain negative past negative. 飲んだんだ。飲みなかったんだ。飲みなかったんだ。飲まないんだ。飲まないんだ。飲まなかったんだ。飲まないんだ。飲まなかったんだ。飲むんだ。飲まいんだ。飲んだんだ。飲まなかったんだ。So, のだ。Okay. So, there is nothing new here. The first chart is adding nda or nanda. Nda, nanda. Or da, da, da. Da, 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 nanda. Nainda, nanda. Okay. Gakse nanda. What's the difference from here? What is this? Nanda is conjugate subject no for Gakse nanda. Gakse janai. Gakse nan janai. Gakse nandatta. Yeah, I don't understand the difference. That's what I don't what I didn't understood from the video. What's the difference between nine janainda, gakse janainda, and gakse nan janai? No. So that's the problem. Hello, Onyaman. How are you? Oh, 1 minute, I translate. So, ジムのdata 日本語をかしよう。Wait, let's see what is being said. ジム It's from the gym. It's funny in Japanese. Huh? Jimu is from the gym. The gym, the name you mean? Jimu. Jimu no ta. Jimu. The name gym is gym in Japan. Japanese. Ah, gym is someone's name. It's someone's name. We here say gym, but in America means gym, but it's person name. Lol. Yes. Yeah, in America they have name gym. Gym is always gym. Like I know that gym is when you go to the gym. But apparently gym is someone's name. Americans are crazy. They are crazy people. They have weird names. Gakusei nanda. Gakusei nanjanai. Gakusei nandatta. Gakusei nanjanakatta. Nomunda. Nomun janai. Ah, so nomu in this is conjugated substitute, no? So the verbs here are not conjugated, they are just nomu, 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 nomu. Here the verbs are conjugated. Different conjugations. I would say that I'd say that the past and past negative forms for noun and adjective in the second chart are almost never used, especially with no, but they are presented for completeness. The crucial difference between using the explanatory no and not being anything at all is that you are telling the listener, look, here's the reason, as opposed to simply imparting new information. For example, if someone asks you, are you busy now? You can simply answer, Ima wa isogashii. However, if someone asks you, how come you can't talk to me? Since you obviously have some explaining to do, you would say, Ima wa isogashii no, or Ima wa isogashinanda. Isogashinda. Ima wa isogashinda. This grammar is indispensable for seeking explanations in questions. For instance, if you want to ask, hey, isn't it late? You can't just ask, osoi, osoi, osoi kunai, because that means it's not late. You need to indicate that you are seeking explanation in the form of isoi, osoi, osoinjanai, osoinjanai, because that means it's not late. You need to indicate that you are seeking explanation in the forms of osoinjanai. So let's see some examples of the types of situations where this grammar is used. The examples will have literal translation to make it easier to see how the meaning stays the same and carries over into what would be very different types of sentences in normal English. A more natural English translation is provided as well because the literal translations can get a bit convoluted. Example 1. Arisu. Doko ni ikuno? Doko ni ikuno? Where is it that you are going? Doko ni ikuno? Bobu. 上業、従業、従業に行くんだ。従業に行くんだ。It is that I go to class. 授業に行くんだ。Alice. Alice, where are you going? どこ行くのどこに行くの Where are you going? Seeking explanation. Bob. 授業に行くんだ。I'm going to class. 授業に行くんだ。Where are you going? Seeking explanation. So when you add no, you seek explanation. But what do you mean you seek explanation? A crucial difference between using the explanatory no and not using it anything at all is that you are telling the listener, look, here's the reason. As opposed to simply imparting new information. For example, if someone asks you, are you busy now? You can simply answer, 今は忙しい. However, if someone asks you, how come you can't talk to me? Since you obviously have some explaining to do, you would answer, 今は忙しいの or 今は忙しいんだ. This grammar is indispensable for seeking explanation in questions. So for example, if you want to ask, hey, isn't it late? You can't just ask, 重いくない 遅いくない because that means it's not late. You need to indicate that you are seeking explanation in the form of 遅いんじゃない Okay. I think I'll understand a little bit. アリス、どこに行くの Where are you going? Where is it that you are going? Where is it that you are going? So it's not where are you going, where is it that you are going? 巡業行くんだ It is that I go to class. Where are you going? I'm going to class. アリス、今巡業がる巡業がる今巡業がるじゃない今巡業がるじゃない Isn't that there is class now? Isn't it that there is a class now? 今はないんだ Now is that there is no class. Don't you have class now? No, there is no class now. 今、順言があるんじゃない今はないんだ。Expecting there is a class. She's asking, expecting there is class. ないんだ。Vromis regulare. Bobu. No, there is. Don't you not have class now? No, I do have class. Don't you not have class? So, 今、上具がないんじゃない上具がないんじゃない 上手はないんじゃない？ある。No, there is. ある、there is. Don't you not have class now? アリス。その人が買うん、その人は買うんじゃないかったの？ Wasn't it that that person was there not want to buy? Wasn't want to buy? 先生が買うんだ。No, it is that teacher is the only the one to buy. Wasn't that person going to buy? No, the teacher is going to. Okay. Don't worry if you are thoroughly confused. I'm a little. I'm a little bit confused, not gonna lie. This one might be the most difficult lesson. Don't worry if you are thoroughly confused by now. We will see many more examples along the way. Confused by now, we will see many more examples. Once you get the sense of how everything works, I think I understand a little bit how things work, but I need to see more examples. It's better to forget the English because the double and triple negatives can get quite confusing, such as example 3. However, Japanese is a perfectly normal expression, as you will begin to realize once you get accustomed to Japanese. Okay, so slowly, I am confused, but slowly, we build up step by step, step by step, step by step, step by step, step by step. Step by step. Okay. So, I think we finished this one. Noun-related particles. Adverbs. We do this tomorrow. Okay, maybe we watch a video. It's a little bit 10 more minutes. And we wrap it up. One video from here. 15 minutes. Janai, that's interesting. I want to see it again, this Janai. Negative. Let's watch this one and
Now we are going to talk about
we wrap
a
it up.
concept called janai. Making things negative with janai. And
今日も音楽が 音楽が there is a tree kanji. Ah, the volume is unstable. Wait, is it working? Hello, test, test, test. Is working.
And remember, you do need to know tachitsu teto and
Tachi
daijitsu
tsu
teto.
teto, tachi tsu teto.
Now, before I go right into this, very simply, this is just any noun plus janai makes it not that
Not.
thing, not a blah blah blah. Okay. But I want to point out that if you are studying with other methods of Japanese, because we typically don't
Janai.
use one source to learn
Janai
Japanese, we
desu.
go to multiple sources. This janai concept has different versions. There is ja arimasen.
Ow, 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 ow. Yubi, 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 yubi.
Okay, those two versions.
Yubi kamu.
There's also, by the way, dewa nai. Okay, so there's three other ways to say it, but we're not going to use those three because the most common way that Japanese people say not is janai. Now,
Janai.
I had a friend that went to a college course, and he was telling me that his teacher forced him to always say dewa arimasen, but that is very stuffy. It's awkward to say dewa arimasen. It's like so dewa arimasen.
So dewa arimasen.
Very awkward.
So
I
dewa
would like
arimasen.
you to use
So
janai.
dewa.
It's not
So dewa
casual
arimasen.
if there's a des following.
So dewa
It's only
arimasen.
casual if you don't have des. What you're
This,
going to
this.
hear me often say is try to maintain a minimal level of politeness and don't be so casual until you know how to be casual. And the one way you do it is using des form, and what we're going to learn later on is called must form. It's called des must form. That's what we're going to call it, and I want you to remember that. So,
Yubi,
janai
why?
itself can be used
Janai
without
yubi.
needing after it to say, I can just say, for example, this is
Janai
mizu,
kamu
but
yubi.
this is not water.
Janai.
So I would say mizu janai.
Mizu janai.
But if I say it like that, mizu janai, mizu janai, it's kind of abrupt and awkward. If I don't know you, like you think I'm
Yubi kamu
is
janai.
that water? Not water. Mizu janai.
Mizu janai.
You don't want that, right? If you watch anime, janai becomes jane. Mizu jane. And
Mizu
that's very
jane.
rude. And mizu janai is one step away from mizu jane. Okay? We don't want that. We want to sound nice. So, to do that, we add
Neko
des. So we
janai.
say,
Neko
mizu
janai.
janai desu.
Neko janai.
There's nothing in between the
Neko
janai
janai.
and mizu. It's very common that people want to add a ga, but no, it's just mizu janai. Mizu janai. Mizu janai.
Neko ga mun janai. Neko ga mun janai. Toma your finger.
指を噛むんじゃない。
指を噛む。
指を噛むんじゃない。
指を噛むんじゃない。
Janai. Mizu. Pen janai desu. Sounds like a sickness. Like, yeah, went to the doctor today and it turns out I got penjanitis.
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 Let's test it out a little bit. Here we have this animal that we don't know what it is. But I'm going to ask you because I think I know what it is. I think it's
犬じゃない。犬じゃないです。
犬ですか?
No, いいえ、
犬です。
犬じゃないです。
There's two ways to answer. You can say what we learned before. いいえ、猫です。
いいえ、猫です。
猫です. No, it's a cat.
But what if I don't know what it is, but I know for certain it's not a dog, right? I mean, I know it's not a dog. Then I would just say, iie,
いいえ、
inu janai desu.
犬じゃない
No,
です。
it's not a dog. I didn't give any new information. I just told him it's not a dog. Whereas ie neko desu is like, oh yeah, I'm telling you what it is. Here I just like, well, I know it's not a dog. Inu janai desu. Ie inu janai desu. Okay, let's imagine that we're looking for Mr. Tanaka. Actually, let's imagine that somebody asked you, are you Tanaka-san? Tanaka-san desu ka? Tanaka-san
Iie.
desu ka? Someone asks
Tanaka.
me, Tanaka-san desu ka?
いいえ、
I'm not
田中じゃ
Tanaka,
ない
so
で
I
す。
will respond as Tanaka じゃないです.
田中じゃない。
That's polite. That's all we need to do to make it polite, by the way. Add that desk. If I said Tanaka じゃない, that's what it sounds like. Tanaka じゃない. It's like, whoa, don't be dismissive with me. I'm just asking you who you are. Tanaka じゃないです. Now, some of you who are astute are thinking, where is the san? Remember, never can you put san on your own name. Like, well, I'm not Mr. Tanaka.
あなたは猫ですか？あなたは猫ですか？いいえ、猫じゃないです。いいえ、私は猫じゃないです。You see, I speak Japanese.
Sounds okay in English, bad in Japanese.
Let's write it. いいえ。いいえ。いいえ。Wait, no. いいえ。Whoa. What is going on? Oh. I want to write, it doesn't let me. いいえ。いいえ。いいえ。猫じゃないです。いいえ、猫じゃないです。わ、私は、私は、人です。です。私は人です。
Tanaka じゃないです. So, Tanaka じゃないです. Okay, not Tanaka. I am not Tanaka. But what if we were pointing at a man and I said to my friend, hey, is that Mr. Tanaka? Tanaka-san desu ka? Ah, いいえ、Tanaka-san じゃないです. Now it's, he's not Tanaka-san because we're talking about someone else and you want to maintain
売ってます。I know.
san. Let me tell you, quick story. dating this girl named Yoko, and we were in a city called Sendai, and don't ask me why, but I was selling balloons in front of a supermarket. And there was a girl that was selling flowers. Flowers. And Yoko went to the bathroom, and I started talking to this girl. I can't remember her name, but let's go to my go-to name, Mamiko. And I was talking to Mamiko, and we were having a nice little conversation. And when Yoko came back, I said something to Yoko about Mamiko. I said, oh yeah, Mamiko ga. I said Mamiko ga because she was the subject, and I was saying what she was doing. I said, Mamiko ga something, something, something. And Yoko was so upset. She was mad at me. Why? What did I do wrong? I took San off of Mamiko's name. She wasn't mad because I was being rude to Mamiko, because I wasn't. She was mad because I made the relationship with me and Mamiko much more casual by taking the San off, and it looks like we had more. Because I can call Yoko Yoko, but I don't have to call her San because she's my girlfriend. I can say, oh, Yoko. But my friends, I'm still going to add San on their name. And people that I know, I'm going to add San on their name. One more story while we're doing stories. I was in Yoko's house, and her grandfather was there. And he was in the war. And he was drinking a lot of sake. Sake is alcohol. And he started getting a little bit drunk. And Yoko was making something for me, like gyoza or something. She was cooking something for me. And the grandfather was talking to me. And as he's talking, he's getting more and more drunk. He's like, and by the way, older people, they will talk a lot more casual down to you because they have earned it in life. They're not going to always speak polite to the people below you, especially when that's the grandfather and I'm the boyfriend and I'm American in her house. And he said, I went to the war, but I fought in the Philippines, but I really wanted to kill Americans. He was pretty intense at that point for me. But then as he drank, and I'm trying to be polite talking to him, he started mumbling and he was using big words that I didn't know at the time because I was like 18. And I said, Yoko, 彼は何言ってるんですか? What is he saying? Something like that. I said, Yoko, something, something, something. And he blew up. He went, Yobiste suru na! That's what he did. Yobiste means throwing away the calling. Don't drop the san. So
This grandfather is a legend. He's a G.
This has been an ongoing discussion recently in the Yes Japan chat room, the Japanese from Zero chat room, about casualness, and I've been trying to pull people back from being so casual because it makes you look arrogant and it causes problems that you're not going to be expecting. And if you are, I've said this before, but there will be people that will stop talking to you because you're not polite, and it's not, they don't know. If I all of a sudden saying, yo, brah, yo, what's up, brah? Yo, brah, let me teach you some Japanese. If I opened up the video saying, yo, brah, today we're going to be learning some real cool stuff, you would not have the respect for me that you have when I'm talking in normal English. Okay? All right. Moral of the story, don't put san on your own name, but when you're talking about other people, put san on there, and don't casually drop the des. Because they need that des. They like des must form. It's a staple of Japanese society. Okay. I feel like this is the second video in a row where I ranted. One was YouTube. Now I'm ranting about casual and polite. Okay. So what if someone asks you, America jin desu ka?
America jin desu ka?
America jin desu ka? But what if you're not American? What if you're Canadian or Australian? Or you're from Brazil. Well, you're not American, right?
America jin
how would you say,
janai
no,
desu.
I'm not American.
いえ、アメリカ人じゃないです。
いいえ、アメリカ人じゃないです。いいえ、アメリカ人じゃないです。Okay, that's nouns. Now there's one more type of word that can use janai. Now we're gonna use janai in other places also, but right now we're learning the basics. Okay, na adjectives, which we really don't know any, right? We haven't really learned any, but except for one example one, right? We learned shizuka in one of the videos prior to mean quiet, like a quiet person. We said shizuka na hito, shizuka na hito. So if you want to say not quiet, you just add the janai after it. Shizuka janai means not quiet. But it also says don't. Don't quiet doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm going to tell you a secret. In this lesson, we have learned 2 more na adjectives, which is weird for English because ski and kirai are what we learned. And in English, those are verbs. To like and to dislike are verbs. But in Japanese,
They're
they are
adverbs.
adjectives.
Adjectives.
And they must be used exactly like adjectives. That's why ski and kirai use ga, because it's a descriptive. And typically, you're describing something, you use ga after the thing that you're describing. So, I might have spoke too fast right now, but as you're learning Japanese and as you review these videos and as you see more, you'll know what I mean. Adjectives normally use ga on the thing that they're talking about, okay? Unless there's a reason for making it wa. So, ski and kirai, you can make them negative by adding janai to them. So if you want to say don't
Skijanai.
like, skijanai,
Skijanai.
or skijanai desu, right? Skijanai desu. Kirai janai. Now,
Kirai
kirai
janai.
janai is a really great phrase. It means you don't dislike it. Japanese people, I'm going to say this delicately. Japanese people are not as direct as we are in America and in other countries. A lot of, like for example, Koreans are extremely direct. When I go to Korea, they say exactly what they think. And Japanese don't. Japanese people are very, I think, I don't want to sound negative. They're wishy-washy, but they do it in ways that they don't commit to a certain thing. They don't want to hurt someone else's feelings, so they would never say to you, kirai desu. They would never say that they hate you, right? They typically would say, and I say typically because there's always those rule breakers, but most people are going to say, ski janai desu. I don't like. Don't like is much kinder than kirai, and certainly way kinder than dai kirai, okay? But, you know what's even better is kirai janai desu.
Kirai
common.
janai desu.
For example, kirai janai desu means I don't dislike you, right? That's really not committing to anything. So for example, let's say that you ask, and I always say a girl because I'm a guy, but let's say you ask somebody, watashi ga suki desu ka? Do you like me? Now, see how ga marks the thing that you like, and I am that thing? So I could have an anata wa in front, but it's not necessary because I know who you are.
Watashi
know
ga
that I'm
suki
talking
desu ka?
Anata wa watashi ga suki desu ka?
Watashi ga suki desu ka?
I could also say, by the way, does Mamiko like me? Mamiko-san wa watashi ga suki desu ka? Does Mamiko-san, the topic of the sentence, like me, the subject of the sentence? Now, if I want to let you down nicely, and the girls will do that because they are brought up in a society of being kind to people and not hurting other people's feelings as casually as we do in America. You know what you did to me, Jennifer? Sorry. She's gonna
Kirai
say to you,
janai.
kirai janai desu. I don't dislike you, right? Or she might say, oh, I think we're really great friends. They're going to friend zone you right away, but it's going to be very nice. Kirai janai desu. All right? You don't want to hear, suki janai desu. I don't like you. I mean, that's pretty harsh. Hurts right here in the Pokeball. Okay? So, suki janai desu. Don't like you. Don't like it. Don't like you. Don't like her. Whatever the topic is, right? Whatever the context makes it. If you're lucky and you say, watashi ga suki desu ka? And they say, daisuki desu. You're in. That's your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Daisuki desu. I like you a lot. It doesn't mean I love you, even though we talked about it. In English, it means I love you. Oh, yeah, I love you. That's a different love, though, right? When you say I love you, it's different. Oh, I love. It's the best. This is the best bug spray ever. I mean, I love it. That's daisuki. Love with a girl or a boy is going to be aisuru, right? But don't do it until you're like real boyfriend, girlfriend. Right now, just only use daisuki. And the one thing you don't want to hear, of course, daikirai. Wow. You really misjudged Mamiko when you asked her if she liked you and she actually hated you. But I love you guys all, and I'll see you all on the next video where we are going to talk about a very short topic, the one pronoun. That doesn't mean there's only one pronoun. It just means we're going to talk about the one pronoun. I'll see you then. Bye.
Okay. So
Hello and welcome to the
it's
final.
almost 7 o'clock. What else did we want to see? Genki continue tomorrow. Yeah, I think we wrap it up here. Onyama, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you here. Tomorrow again also. I also want to do something else with the. I'll do it later maybe. At some point. At 9 o'clock maybe. I'll show the cats and ask for donation about the cats. Maybe, or maybe not. Because we need to give them food and we need to take them to the doctor, to the vet. O otsukare otsukare sa mades. Otsukare sama desu. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not doing tomorrow also again. Again tomorrow every day. 毎日勉強日本語を勉強します。毎日 every day. We are not stopping. So thank you very much. Maybe one day it will be a dream, of course, to go to Japan for a visit. But we need to speak for now. Speak Japanese. So thank you very much, Onyaman. And definitely I will be tomorrow. There is no question. Nothing can stop us. So bye bye. Sayonara. 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 Yes.